Hey Liz. What the fuck is up with Waterford?
It didn't start out like this. It actually seemed like a kind of almost boring, like not boring per se, but not necessarily the most exciting topic in the
Yeah,
world.
when I went into this, I wasn't expecting fucking fuck.
Let's talk about starting this doc. We didn't expect it to turn out as it did at all.
Doing a documentary about making a documentary because our first documentary didn't work, and this was our backup documentary.
So, we switched to doing this documentary about the controversy in Waterford.
This is the Waterford Historical Society, which ended up destroying the town and like starting a civil war over
One single event.
a historical society event.
Waterford Heritage Days was started by a lady by the name of Jenny Bowman and Zona Miller.
We were trying to make money for the nonprofits and the Waterford community.
Money.
There was some problems with the borough council.
He had gone to the borough to ask the borough for some money for Heritage Days.
One of the borough council members felt that we were an out-of-town organization and that we needed to report to her, that she was going to determine what we did with our money.
Because she had read through all of the bylaws for the town and the ordinances, and one of the ordinances said the borough could not lend money to, or could not give out money unless they would see the books of what was going on.
And we just thought, we don't need that.
Well, when that happened, somebody reported him to the Attorney General's office, and at that point he was not allowed to put on Heritage Days because they were investigating him.
It's a town that doesn't care about politics, cares more about fighting amongst themselves, obviously.
The only politics are local politics.
Yep. Where literally, this entire war, people took sides, and still most of the town has no idea what it was actually about.
Like
Which
most
is
people,
part of the reason why I actually want to do this doc.
is to explain actually what went down so people have an informed political opinion.
Yes.
It's like, oh my gosh.
This is what actually happened, so choose
So
your
we should do
side.
this like a political party.
Yeah.
Like it's a political race.
Yeah, there's like there's like holes missing. There's like holes. Holes. Like, we need interviews that connect them together better. I know what you mean.
You see, this is where we need more interviews to fill in. Yeah, we just need more. More. We don't have enough interviews. We need more people.
Unfortunately, like, there was a lot of, we only had like a week to do it. We only had a week to get interviews, and so we had a little issues.
And it was Thanksgiving week, too.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving week. We had issues getting interviews. Like, we had an interviewee who we thought might actually be dead.
What do you mean by they bailed? Did they just not show up?
They were supposed to be at the same event that she was at, helping.
Mm-hmm.
She never showed up. She wouldn't respond to any of my calls. She wouldn't respond to any of Jimmy's calls.
So
And she never showed up to either of the things.
you're thinking she might actually be dead.
Possibly.
It turns out she had literally just went down and said hi to her daughter without actually telling
Her daughter
anyone.
in fucking California, right?
Yeah.
It was in, yeah. Oh, and then Liz getting in a fight.
Because, like, that's what happened. He, like, shoved the tripod in her face, and then they got into a fight, and she won, apparently.
Did you get the cut?
With a grown man!
But, like, so we did end up getting a story, but the story was kind of, like, really boring. Like, we definitely needed more material, more research, more just everything.
So we started digging a little bit more, especially into one of these side things that really caused controversy, which
was like the GoDaddy thing.
So a group of people from the town put together Waterford Days at that point because this gentleman owns the name on GoDaddy called Heritage Days.
Everyone thought it was one of our interviewers, Benny, and Benny had no idea who owned it. And
like they were like, oh, Benny owns it, he's been renewing it every year.
And Benny's like, I don't know whoever owned it.
And so we actually, at our teacher Steve's kind of like recommendation, looked up who owned it, and they had actually paid extra money to keep their name private. So we had to like,
we went through GoDaddy to find out who it was.
We put up a bid to buy it off of whoever was currently owning it, and that actually kind of like revealed their name to us.
Yeah, we found out who owns it.
It was a woman by the name of Charlene Skelton. Who the fuck is Charlene, and what the fuck does she have to do with like Heritage Days? Because like no one has any idea why she was involved at all.
Yeah, no one knew she was involved with it at all. And so we
even her friends didn't know.
Yeah, her friends haven't even known. So we went to try to get in contact with her, and that's how we figured out that the law firm had gone under, because that was her original phone number. And after trying several phone numbers, all of which were either disconnected or said they were the wrong number, we found out that one of the numbers we had was actually correct, but she doesn't want to talk to us.
And the reason for that might just be because the reason why her company went under is because she was caught embezzling and was disbarred.
Yeah. So
that's sketchy.
It was interesting because actually a few days ago, we checked today and we found out that 2 days ago she actually ended her subscription with the name.
And that was like, she just renewed it.
Yeah, she had just renewed it a week and a half ago, which is how we knew that she was still the owner of it. And then as soon as we started trying to contact her, all of a sudden,
like, she's dropped it.
Which
is another wrinkle. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. And we're actually going to keep going with the story until we kind of get a better understanding of what went on and what happened. But I think this has been an interesting experience in documentary. I think we've realized that documentary is something that it's kind of like a whole other beast, really, from film typically, because it's like, it's not controlled.
Yeah,
like
it's like you can go on and think this is the stupidest thing in the world, and then all of a sudden find that suspicious factor, and then all of a sudden you're like,
it's even the most mundane things can become something really interesting. That's where we're at as filmmakers. That's where we're at as documentarians. That's where we're at as students, and that's where we're at, pursuing the story of Waterford. The story of a
very important part of Waterford that seems very muddled.
Yeah. So